What's up, brand builders? Stephen Hurahan here at BrandMasterAcademy.com, and in this video I'm going to show you 9 brand strategy examples from some of the best and most unique brands in the world. So you can see what some of the top strategic agencies are doing to carve out unique positions for their brand success. Now, if you're new to the channel and you want to build brands that go beyond the visuals using strategy, psychology, and creative thinking, then you're in the right place. Hit that subscribe button and the notification bell. If you want to fast track your results, make sure you grab the Pro Brand Strategy Blueprint. It's a free download and the link is in the description. Now, successful brands aren't created by chance. At the core of every successful brand is a brand strategy, and there are many elements at play within a brand strategy. The more you observe successful brands, the more you observe their strategies, and the more you realize how many different elements are at play, the more you realize just how creative brand strategy can be. So what is brand strategy? Well, on the face of it, it might seem like this complex business discipline, but in reality, brand strategy is all about simplicity. The more simplistic a brand can communicate its difference, its value, and its offer to its audience, the more likely that that brand will be adopted. So the brand strategy is all about defining the approach of the brand and the elements and the tools that it will use to achieve its goals. Now, there are many elements within a strategic brand that each play their own role within that brand. Now, some of these elements are more important in some brands and less important than others, really depending on the brand and the brand strategy. But there are a set of key fundamental elements that should be instilled within every brand strategy. The first element is brand purpose. Now, the purpose of the brand is the reason that the brand exists. Of course, every business exists to generate profit. Businesses that operate without the goal of a profit are known as non-profits. Yet this is where the profit-generating businesses must look in search of their purpose. Beyond that profit is where they'll find their true purpose. The brand vision is the vision of the brand, where it's going and what that future brand will look like. A brand without a plan has nowhere to go, but with a clear vision of the future brand, it has something to aim for. The vision of the brand becomes a directional compass for the success. The brand mission are the commitments that it makes in order to achieve the vision for the future. It's all well and good having a vision, but without making a commitment, that vision is just a dream. The mission begins to solidify the actions that the brand will take to achieve its goals. The core values of a brand outline what the brand holds dear in the way it operates and the way it does business. Now, every business approaches the market differently and behaves in different ways as well. Brands that articulate their values and commit to them can intentionally develop a reputation for the way they operate. Now, brand positioning is without a doubt the most influential element in the success of the brand. Every business fulfills a want or a need, yet the way in which they do it is often the difference between success and failure. Successful positioning happens when a brand develops a reputation with their market for the unique way that they meet the want or the need that their audience has. Now, brand personality is all about the human persona of the brand, and that's becoming more and more important in today's modern markets. People are drawn to human characteristics, and much of our decision making happens through the attributes that we consciously or subconsciously identify. A brand displaying specific characteristics designed to appeal to a specific audience is far more likely to make the intended connection. Next up is the brand voice. Now, this is an extension of the personality, and the voice defines how the brand sounds through its messaging. Like personality, the voice communicates characteristics through the added dimension of the tone of voice, and it reinforces those characteristics with attitudes. Brand storytelling is becoming more and more important in this modern market. As humans, we are drawn to story because it has been the main method of knowledge transfer that's been used for millions and millions of years. Now, this human instinct to attentively listen to story provides brands with a hack to transfer their message across to their audience. Brands that tell stories to mirror the path of their customers leverage that human instinct to draw them in. And of course, brand identity. Now, we humans, we're very, very visual creatures. Our brains burn many calories to digest complex information, yet we can process images in as little as 0.01 seconds. The more distinctive and appealing a brand's identity is, the more likely it will be to be remembered and recalled in the buying decision. So what about a brand strategy template for success? Well, it is within our nature to replicate what works and not reinvent the wheel unless we have to, but the best results of brand strategy come through processes and not templates because it is a creative discipline. There are many different elements within a brand strategy, and the brand strategist decides which elements are going to play an important role and which elements are going to take a backstage role. That strategist is the author of the brand strategy, and they define which elements are going to shine. And it's the interaction and the cohesive construction of all of these elements that defines whether or not the brand and the tale of the brand is a story worth telling. So let's have a look at some of the best and most unique brands in the world and how those brands and their agencies use these strategic elements to position their brands effectively. Now, before we dive in, don't forget to like and subscribe, and the notification bell will let you know when I release new videos just like this. Example number one is Chipotle, and this is all about quality positioning and personality. Now, Mexican food has been an American favorite for generations. Taco Bell were the dominant player in the Mexican fast food space for quite a while. They led with a focus of low price, which came hand in hand with low quality, and that's an approach that was dominated in the competitive landscape. The market was there to be disrupted, and this opportunity was spotted by Chipotle's founder, Steve Ellis. Ellis had a degree in the Culinary Institute of America, and he knew that there was an untapped market for lovers of both quality fresh produce and Mexican food. Chipotle came onto the scene and gave their audience something fresh, both literally and positionally. Their vegetable-heavy fresh produce approach and their cheeky personality gave Chipotle a competitive edge. Not only did they claim a healthy slice of the market, they expanded the market as well to more health-conscious diners. The next example is Tesla with their brand mission. Now, as a brand, Tesla has many strings to their bow and leverage many strategic elements to appeal to their audience. For a start, they're a disruptor and carved out a hugely profitable and defensible niche in the luxury electric automotive market. But this Tesla example shines a light on their mission, which is a commitment that goes beyond the automotive market, inspired by their visionary leader, Elon Musk. Tesla is a brand that wants to bring us into the new world and have outlined their intent with an inspiring mission to accelerate the world's transition to sustainable energy. As consumers become more aware and the use of fossil fuels are forced out, Tesla are positioned to take advantage. The next brand strategy example is Zappos and their brand values. Now, values are a brand strategy element used as an internal guide to navigate decisions and actions. Although there are many brands that effectively use their values to drive success, very few have become known for their values. But Zappos is one such rare brand. So let's have a look at their values. There are 10 in total, so let's go through them one by one. Deliver wow through service. Embrace and drive change. Create fun and a little weirdness. Be adventurous, creative, and open-minded. Pursue growth and learning. Build open and honest relationships with communication. Build a positive team and family spirit. Do more with less. Be passionate and determined. Be humble. Now, this unique list of 10 values are used as the cornerstone to their strategy. They hire and onboard their staff with a focus on these values, which translates across their entire brand ecosystem. And through them, they've developed a reputation to the value of $1.2 billion, which Amazon founder Jeff Bezos paid for them in 2009. The next brand strategy example is the Dollar Shave Club with a focus on their against positioning and personality. Now, the Dollar Shave Club is one of my all-time favorite brand strategy examples for many different reasons. One of the most compelling is that this is a real David and Goliath story. The Dollar Shave Club represented a small business with a ballsy entrepreneur in Michael Dublin who stuck it to Gillette, the dominant market leader. The Dollar Shave Club strategy was simple: provide high-quality razors at a significantly reduced price from their competitors while pointing the finger at their rivals with dry humor and bags of personality. Their viral video catapulted them to stardom, but it was their business model and brand strategy that led Unilever to acquiring them for $1 billion. The next brand strategy example is Old Spice, with a focus on their repositioning with personality. Now, sticking with the men's toiletries market, and Old Spice is an inspirational example of how little personality reinvigorated an aging brand. Old Spice is a brand with heritage and history, and although many brands make that work to their advantage, for Old Spice it was leaving them in the past. The brand image in the market was that Old Spice was an old man's brand for old men getting older. They needed a fresh image, and if they were going to appeal to the younger segment of the audience, in order to survive, they needed a fresh image. They needed a fresh representation in the market and a new perception of what the brand looked like. They tested the waters with the humor-driven swagger campaign before going all in on what turned out to be a viral sensation in their "The Man Your Man Can Smell Like" campaign. With little more than a personality makeover and a tweak to their visual identity, Old Spice became the #1 men's body wash on the market. The next example is Harley Davidson, with a focus on their brand voice. Now, when you think of iconic brands, Harley Davidson is often in the podium positions. This all-American heritage brand is another masterfully managed brand which used its unique brand voice as one of its most consistent and effective tools. The owner of Harley Davidsons around the world all share this unique characteristic. In one way or another, they're rebellious at heart, and they aren't fond of rules, and they tend to push against the grain. Harley's voice is laced with this rebellious spirit. They're rugged, they're mean, they're gritty, they're tough, and they don't mince words. In other words, they're the voice of the gang leader that their audience wants to follow. Any student of branding who wants to know how an effective brand voice is executed needs to take a long, hard look at Harley Davidson's messaging. Dove is another great example of brand strategy, and I'm going to focus here on their brand purpose. Now, this Unilever brand is one of the pioneers of brand purpose as a strategic tool. Today, it's not uncommon to see brands jumping on the brand purpose bandwagon without any real intent behind it. Dove approached the issue of self-esteem in women with authenticity and commitment when they released their 2004 Real Beauty campaign, trading thin models for models that better represented real women. Since then, Dove has committed to raising awareness of the impact of the beauty industry on the self-esteem of women and girls, and they've committed to changing the status quo. AirBnB is a real modern brand, and I'm going to focus here on their brand storytelling. Now, Airbnb don't facilitate short-term rentals. They help their audience to belong anywhere, and that's one of the things that I absolutely love about this brand, is their focus on belonging anywhere. One of the ways that they do this is by elevating the connection between the guest and the host and bringing the tangibility and the humanity of that real people and real life communication and real life connection through the stories that they tell. Now, again, there are many feathers in the Airbnb branding cap, from their playful brand identity to their simplistic messaging, though their stories bring to life a sense of belonging that hotels simply can't compete with. So if you are considering using story as a dominant tool within your brand strategy, make it about the people and not about the brand, like Airbnb have done. The next example is from Even Headphones, and I'm going to focus here on their brand identity. Now, Even Headphones are a brand who engaged one of my favorite agencies based out of New York called Motto. Now, Even boast this unique technology which customizes the listening experience for each user, but their brand identity is one of the elements that sets them apart. The color palette mix of vibrant and neutral colors and their funky image style, which captures that audience, is really memorable, and it's a memorable combination as well, and it's stamped across all of their visual touch points. Although a unique difference is an important part of any brand strategy, such a distinctive brand identity helps to bring memorability and salience to the Even brand beyond their technology. Now, as you can see, all of these different brands have a different angle to their approach. They're all in different markets, and they all approach their market differently. They use a variation of different elements and combine those elements together to make a unique position for themselves in their market, to carve out that unique position for themselves. Brand strategy is a creative discipline, and when you understand all of the elements and the tools that you can use to develop your brand strategy, that's when you realize just how creative it can get. So take the time to analyze successful brands, analyze what they're doing, analyze the combination of elements that they're using, and take inspiration to apply that to the brands that you're building. Now, if you are all inspired and ready to go to develop your brand strategy and you want to dive deeper into the detail of the elements that you need to build within your strategy, then this video will help you out. Until next time, brand like a master, and I'll see you in the next video.